And we are live. So thank you for everyone who's going to tune in to this live. I don't know if anyone is going to be joining me today. If not, that's all right. Whatever time you're tuning in to watch this, I want to know how was your weekend? How was your week? How was, you know, how's this month been for you? I'd love to know that because for me, at least I've been keeping up with the lives so you guys can get a hint of where I've been and where my mindset is at and what kind of realizations I'm having through and through within this week. So it's been a crazy month, a really crazy month with I want to say so many challenges and awakenings. Like it's been a lot. That's all I can say. I think I don't know much about the eclipse energy, but based on what everything that or all the teachers have been tapping into regarding that, the people who are, you know, skilled at looking at such energies, like such challenges were part of what came with, the new energy that was coming in. But anyway, I digress, so I don't want to lose you with that. I want to know, like, how is your week going for you so far? How was your week? What are your intentions for next week, It's been crazy for me because for the past 1 week, I've had my nieces and nephew are with me, and it has been crazy, I was actually posted on threads the other day, like, because I had the craziest time with my 5-year-old nephew, just, at that age when they think they know everything, but they really don't, and they think like you can direct them. So my nephew is kind of like anytime you correct him, he gets angry. So the number of times I'm told words like "you are not my friend" and "don't you go away," and those words, like it's crazy. But honestly, it's actually been fun just to be around them and be around that energy, just to um, you know, a new kind of challenge. But it's been an exciting challenge. Okay. But anyway, so today my title is honoring those people who came before us, right? And inspiring stories about perseverance and resilience. That's what I want to talk about today. But before I do that, for anyone who's tuning in, maybe you might not know who I am. My name is Eva, and welcome to my channel. If you're new to my channel, I am an intuitive energetic healer. I do work with two modalities. One which is based on working with the Akashic Records, which is all about um, connecting you to your soul identity, awakening your soul level gifts, helping you to clear all the negative karma that probably you picked up in the various lifetimes that you've lived. The second modality I do deal with is called quantum flow, which is all about rewiring your nervous system and releasing deep-seated trauma and emotional wounds that you've been carrying with you all the way from childhood, and just awakening to better states of well-being in your mental, in your emotional, in your spiritual, in your energetic, in your physical well-being, like literally all areas of your life. And I'm going to be sharing more on that at the end of this live. I just wanted to introduce myself. Okay. So today, talking about honoring those people who came before us. So I'm going to share how this topic got inspired for me. So I was going through my Instagram feed and I happened to come across this guy. I've never seen this guy before. He just happened to come up on my feed, and he was just sharing a story about how he came about to have the kind of huge following he has on Instagram. He actually has like over 2 million subscribers currently. And he was sharing like at the beginning of his journey or when he started making these videos. So he's all about posting about mental health, mental awareness, and all of that, and just encouraging people who actually struggle with that. And I loved this person's authenticity. Authenticity is something that I really gravitate towards. It's one of my key values. So I'm always attracted to people who are just embodying their most authentic self. So he was just sharing about when he was starting his journey of, sharing on social media, and literally like everyone in his life, most of the people in his life would ridicule him and make fun of him, for doing that because they thought it was ridiculous. And he only had one person to support him on his journey, and that one person was the grandmother. And from all of that to now having that kind of following and people who actually listen to him and value the kind of advice he has. That is what sparked me to reflect on this and reflect on all those instances, especially for my mentors and the teachers that I tap into, and basically anyone else. So the reason I'm doing this is, um, if you're watching this, I'm sure, like, because I'm sure, like, all people go through this kind of thought patterns when you're questioning everything, when you're wondering, like, am I making the right decision? I've tried everything and nothing seems to work out, and you just come into that point where you're like, do I just give up? Do I just turn around? Do I just stop whatever it is I'm doing? And all of that. Like, I think I would say majority of the people go through that. Like we've experienced that at some point in your life, right? When you thought you tried everything and you're just like, you know what, I'm just so done. I want to stop doing whatever it was. It could be with anything, it could be with your relationship, right? Like you've tried everything and everything to heal that relationship and nothing maybe seems to work. And you're just like, at that point where you just want to throw your hands and be like, you know what, I'm done. Maybe for someone who's probably gone through the struggle of finding a job. You've applied for so many jobs and nothing is coming about, and you just get into a point you're like, do I just stop? I mean, and again, I'm speaking again from experience because I've been in that position so many times before, and more so lately because especially with the work that I do, showing up on social media, doing the post, the content, and all of that, and not getting the kind of results that you want, and not getting the kind of reach that you want, with the so-called what is it called, algorithm and stuff. And the point I was at this month was just trying to, because I've been trying a couple of different things just to see if I can switch a couple of things and see if that will actually get me the kind of reach that I wanted. And that wasn't working. So I was literally at the point where I was like, you know what, maybe I just put a full stop to all of that until I'm able to, like, just taking a step back until I can find a new way to approach, the posting and all of that. Like literally, that's where I was earlier this month. So I was literally reflecting on just stopping, like literally just stopping to post. Okay. And then I saw this video and it was a beautiful reminder from God or from the universe not to give up. And this is why I'm doing this video right now, to encourage you on whatever path you're on, and I'm going to be sharing so many stories of so many teachers and their backstories of what they had to go through to become who they are today. So that person sharing that he had to go through that certain period where he was getting ridiculed, and he still kept on going with his passion work, and spreading positivity and getting to the kind of reach he has right now, which I find so inspiring because I think everyone who's had a successful or who has that kind of success that a lot of people aspire to have always had this kind of a backstory. They went through the worst kind of trial, the most kind of difficulty to get to where they are right now. But most people never get to see the struggle behind the success. You only get to meet people or know of people when they are in their success phase, when they have the kind of success, the money, relationships, all, whatever success means for you, that's when you get to meet most people. But then you forget that everyone has a backstory. And what most people tend to do is that they'll tend to compare themselves to whoever it is that they admire when they are the most successful, right? And questioning themselves and questioning their path and all of that, and forgetting that that person was probably where you are currently right now, had to go through that also. So they didn't skip a step. It was part of the system, part of the struggle, part of awakening to all that you are. You have to go through the difficult trials, all the challenges, and all of that, and getting to, questioning yourself. Like I'm sure if you're watching this, you've had about the hero's journey, which is formed the basis of a lot of the movies we watch right now that are so inspiring. Such as Lord of the Rings. That's the only movie I can think of right now. But there's so many, when you're called to do certain work, and first of all, you start by feeling scared and afraid of embarking on that new path, and then you get encouraged, and then you get started on a journey, and you encounter so many difficulties. You get to a point where you're like, do I just turn around and go back to where I started from? But then something happens just to keep pushing on. You get to the end, you get your diamond, you get your reward, and then you go back which is, I think, where a lot of the successful people that we see, they have been through that, you know? And I'm just thinking about what else to share on this. Okay, so based on the challenge that I was having this month of thinking like, should I stop? Should I just stop posting and see what happens then until I can approach it from a new angle? So something interesting happened last weekend, some weird synchronicity. Like I had someone book a discovery call with me, and so I was sharing, I was just asking them, like, okay, so how did you go about finding me? What are you interested in? All of that. And the person says that I actually was looking for, I just went to YouTube and I searched for the word Akashic healing. I was like, okay, and your video happened to come through. And I don't know, for some reason, your energy just spoke to me and I just wanted to connect. And then this person shared something interesting that the reason why they went ahead to book the discovery call with me was that they checked my social media pages and they actually found that my content was actually very recent, that I actually post quite frequently. Because apparently, before that, the people that she was looking into, they had just stopped posting on social media, like they were not showing up on social media. And I wanted to literally laugh. I never even got to share this with this person that this, like I was actually thinking about stopping the posting until this person shared this. And I'm like, "Oh, okay, fine. You know, those moments where you're like, okay, now this is a huge sign from God that you need to keep on going. That is where I was at. You know, so when the person shared that, I only chose you, or I connected to you because I saw your social media post, and you seem like you really are current, which means that you actually do this work, right? So I took that as a sign that, you know, stopping the posting is not the right path for me, so I need to keep on going. That was my funniest weird synchronicity with that. Okay. And just looking back to, you know, all the teachers that I've been tapping into is called an amazing channeler called Pamela Arlene. And by the way, check out her YouTube page. Like, honest, the thing with me is that when I discover something new, I become super obsessed with just wanting to learn everything about it. And that's where my entire focus is right now because I'm learning so much just from watching her channeling and all of that. And what I find amazing about this person is the fact that I'm actually looking at videos that she was posting like 8 years ago. Like 8 years ago, I hadn't even started my healing journey. I wasn't even in this kind of mindset. So there's no way we'll ever encounter this person. But all those videos that she was posting 8 years ago are so relevant to me right now on my journey. And the thing that amazes me about that is that who would have known, right? If when this person or when this now Pamela was posting 8 years ago, I'm sure like in her mind she never thought that her video will ever reach someone like me. Of course not. It's impossible to know who you're going to inspire with the work that you're doing. But most people focus so much on the immediate surrounding um, feedback, right? And then you tend to think that, you know, now I've tried everything and I'm not getting the kind of results. Like maybe they should just give up. And maybe the work you're doing right now is actually setting the groundwork for something that's going to be super impactful. I don't care how many years into the future, but it's going to matter at some point in time. And for most people, it never makes sense right now, especially when you're going through all the trials. All the trials, they don't make sense right now, but trust me, however months in the future, however years in the future, you're gonna get to a point where it's gonna hit you like, oh, that's why I had to go through that particular painful period that I thought I will never get out of, and I almost gave up on everything I was doing. Take this as this particular video as a reminder that giving up is literally not an option, right? And again, when I think about all the teachers that I've been tapping into, if all of them went through all this particular period where they were in doubt and thinking like, do I just stop doing everything? Do I just go back to, you know, what society tells me I should be doing and all of that? When I actually reflect on that, I it's kind of like it hits me that had they actually stopped doing what they were doing back then when they were going through so many challenges, then they wouldn't have posted or gave us the kind of work that has actually impacted so many lives, you know, right now. Okay. I'll give you another example. Someone like Tony Robbins, right? Everyone knows who Tony Robbins is, and an amazing, amazing speaker, motivational speaker. And he shares a story where um at the beginning of his journey where he had completely run out of money, he had zero money in his account and all of that, and literally he takes I think he was left with what I'm not so familiar with his story, so I'm just trying to recall what it was, but I know he was literally at his last few dollars, and he decided that he was going to give these dollars to someone else. I don't know what the story was with that, but then it turns out that this person, by them doing that act, is what like sparked the Tony Robbins to begin on his journey. But the inspiration I got from that is the fact that he was actually at the lowest point, right? When you're thinking like, okay, so I have nothing else left. Like it's just me and me alone. Like I got no money, I got no food, I got nothing, and I have a place to stay. And then to come from that kind of state to be the kind of person he is right now, who's been inspiring so many people for so many years, right? Which proves that anything can literally happen. Miracles do happen. Okay. The next story I'll like Kenny. So Vishen Lakeni is the founder of Mind Valley. Super inspiring, right? He talks about when he was starting to do meditation because he became a meditation teacher, and again, not having the kind of impact or the kind of success that would actually sustain him on the path he was on. And at some point, he had to leave the US and go back to Malaysia, where he's from, and moved back to his parents' home. Like literally, he was at that point, and he's with his wife and all of that, and he had to start all over again from there, right? To build the company that we know now as Mind Valley. So can you imagine just going through that? The outside world will tell you, like, okay, now this is the point for you to, quit and stop doing whatever it is that you're doing. Like, it's not giving you the kind of results that you need. So quit, go back to a job, go do whatever it is, right? But then to come from that and then build a company such as Mind Valley, which has impacted me and so many others in such a huge way. So think about it. If Vishen Lakeni had decided at that point to quit whatever he was doing, we will never have had Mind Valley. Okay. There's another book I'm currently tapping into, which I'm actually currently reading. It's called Autobiography of a Yogi. So Story of Yogananda, right? And by the way, this is a book I seriously recommend to anyone who's into spirituality. It's gonna really challenge your belief system, especially if you're not aware of the kind of abilities certain people have on in this world. Okay, so it could challenge you in such a huge way, but it is so inspirational, and I'd encourage anyone who's into metaphysics to actually read the book. But the reason why I'm sharing this, again, just to tie in with the whole story about perseverance, is that Yogananda, from a very young age, he knew that he was not meant to be of the world or the material world. That's what I mean. He was meant to pursue a spiritual path. And all along, he had been looking for a spiritual teacher. Like he knew where to find his teacher. Apparently, his teacher at that time was based at the Himalayas mountains. I think that's he knew, or he had a dream about his teacher being there. So from a very young age, he wanted to be there. He wanted to go and just be with his teacher that he knew was going to teach him and guide him on his spiritual journey from a very young age. And this is something he had so much conflict with the people around him, especially his father and his brother. And he tried so many times to run away from home. So many times, including a point where he had literally devised everything, him and his cousin and I think a friend of his, they had actually gotten on a train. They had changed their clothing just to confuse the any kind of spies that his brother would have hired to make sure that he doesn't run away from home. They had done all of that only to just get to almost get into the point where they'll start now the trek to the Himalayas, and then they get caught by the police because apparently the brother had found a way to communicate with the police, the cops So they were able to intercept Yogananda and his friend and bring them back home, you know, and he had to go through all of that, right? And he kept on pushing and pushing and pushing because he was 100% sure this was the only way to get to that. And at whatever point, when you've tried so hard and anything you tried, like you're just getting roadblocks, roadblocks, roadblocks. I mean, normal or common sense will actually dictate that this is the point that you give up, right? But he never did. And funny thing is that his teacher actually ended up finding him in the most weird way. And if you read the book, you're actually gonna get the story. But so I don't want to divulge too much, so I don't spoil it for anyone who actually happens to read the book. But the teacher actually ended up finding him, and he had been searching and finding a way to, make that happen for himself, like through his own might and whatever, and nothing ever seemed to work out. And funny thing was that at the perfect timing for Yogananda. He didn't have to do anything. He wasn't even thinking about it at that point, or he was, but not paying too much attention to it. His teacher just happened to find him in the most weird, random place on a street, right? And this is how I want you to look at it. Whatever it is that you're tapping into, you've tried everything, you've devised all those things, and things are just not working out. Take this post as a reminder that it is not time to give up. So many people who've come before you have been through that. Don't look at any kind of successful person, whatever field that you're in, right? And think that they didn't go through whatever it is that you're going through. It's part of our struggle, right? Except for now, those people who are probably born with a silver spoon in their mouth, maybe they didn't have to go through whatever challenges, that other people go through, but they had to go through certain challenges in their own right, right? Like everyone goes through that point in their life. Like you don't get to that position without not having faced the challenges and the trials to get there. And the secret with these successful people is that they did not give up. They kept pushing on despite all odds, despite everything standing against them, everything not being in their favor. They kept on moving. They kept on doing the work. Okay, so for most people, again, common sense will dictate, like, I've tried everything, so let me just, wash my hands off this and be like, I'm done trying to try something else. But if at all you're aware that this path you're on is the only path that makes sense for you, then don't give up. And again, take this video as a sign that it is not time to give up. So many people have come before you, have gone through this, persevered, and ended up having the most amazing miracle stories happen for them. And if it happened for them, it can also happen for you. And I want to hear your story eventually, when you actually get what it is that you are wanting to manifest or bring into your life. Share it with people down here and be the person who passes on inspiration or the people who come or who follow you down this path right now, because I think we're just here to inspire each other or show each other or teach each other. Like if you learn a lesson, there's no point to learn a lesson and then keep it to yourself. Learn, go through a challenges or whatever, get to the end and then be like, okay, fine, now look back. And now you get to guide the people who are behind you so that they can navigate the path that you just finished embarking on and teach them how to avoid all the challenges in between, all the trials in between, so that they don't make the same mistakes that maybe you made. That's basically it, right? Especially for the successful people who are all about giving back. It's about getting there and then now giving a guide, a map now for the people who follow you down that path to help them navigate the path easier for you. So we keep on passing the mantle. My teachers passed on the mantle to me, and hopefully I get to pass on the mantle to someone else who will do the same for the other person. We're just here to assist each other so that we can all get to the destination eventually at the end, which is our joining together with God. So I hope this story inspired you. And I want to hear from you. Like, if you have more stories about this, I've got a ton of them. So I've just named a couple of them that I could recall in this live right now. So if you have more and you love to share down below in the comments. And yeah, let's inspire each other and keep people, and encourage each other to keep on showing up and doing the work no matter what, even when it seems again like things are not working out for you. That story, and that's what I'm hoping when someone taps into this video is to see this and just serve as a reminder that, oh, okay, so the universe or God is just telling me, don't give up, keep showing up. That's my purpose today when I'm sharing this. So share down below your stories, any teacher, even your own story. Like if you have any story of how you've been how resilience and perseverance have actually gotten you to where you are right now. Share them below and be the person who passes on the mentor to the next person who's probably going through the same thing that you're going through. Okay. So thank you so much for tuning in. If you're new to my channel, make sure that you subscribe, support the channel. We do love the support. And also click on the notification bell so that you don't miss out on any time I actually go on live. I normally go on live at around this time on Sundays, unless that changes, which of course I'll advise. And again, just to share, I do work with two modalities. One which is soul relevant based on working with the Akashic records, and the second one is quantum flow, which is all about working with your nervous system and helping you rewire your nervous system so that you can release any emotional wounds, any patterns, any limiting beliefs, and all of that that have been keeping you stuck and unable to move on with your life or make completely different choices because it's completely stuck on who you are in the past and you keep on recreating the same mistakes, making the same mistakes over and over again. If you're ready to walk away from that, if probably you're feeling stuck, you're struggling with your mental, with your emotional well-being and all of that, these two modalities can actually help you rewire yourself out of that and start creating a better experience for yourself with more awareness and more empowerment and more ability to tap into your soul level gifts. So if you're curious about these two modalities, you can connect with me down below, Facebook or Instagram. Ask any questions of me. Oh, and follow me also on Instagram and Facebook. I always post there on a daily basis. So don't forget to follow me there. Connect with me there or go ahead and book a 15 to 30-minute discovery call and ask any questions just to see if any of these two modalities will be a perfect fit for you. Okay. So I hope one day that I do get to see you on the other side. For now, I'm sending you so much love and I wish you an amazing week ahead. And I will see you in the next